Here we will see alter database command in MS SQL Server. If the database is created with wrong name, it is necessary to change the name of the database. The Microsoft SQL Server provides two ways to rename a database. First, you can use either SQL Server Management Studio or you can run the SQL query to rename a database. Before renaming a database, remember it can break the connection for services configured with the current database name or existing stored procedure. The general syntax for renaming the SQL database with query is alter database, then current name and modify name equal to new name, where current name specifies the current name of the database and new name specifies the new name of the database. For example, alter database sampledb, modify name equal to new sampledb, where sampledb is the current name and new sampledb is the new name. You can also rename the SQL Server database similar to renaming a folder in Windows. Steps to rename a database using SQL Server Management Studio is: first, open the Object Explorer in SQL Server Management Studio. Then open the SQL Server database properties. Restrict the database access to single user in SQL Server. Then select rename option in SQL Server database properties. And finally rename the SQL Server database. Then we will see how to rename the database in SQL Server Management Studio. So first we will open the SQL Server Management Studio. Then first we will open the query window. Here we will rename this sampledb with new name using SQL command. So alter database sampledb, modify name equal to new sampledb. And we will execute this command. It will display the message, the database name new sampledb has been set. If we refresh this, it will change the sampledb name as new sampledb. Now we will see how to rename the database using SQL Server Management Studio. I will change this sampledb1. For this, first we will open the properties and from option menu, we will restrict the access from multi-user to single user. So we can rename the database and then right click here, click on rename and change the name of the database. I will give new sampledb1. It will rename it, and again I will open the properties and from option menu I will set the restrict access to multi-user and I will click on OK. That is, we can rename the database using alter database or by right clicking the database using SQL Server Management Studio.